The Hong Kong Association of Banks published practical guideline on barrier-free banking service issued in March 2018. The guideline is developed for the industry and set out good banking practices recommended by Hong Kong Association of Banks with the aim of providing barrier-free banking services to customers with physical disabilities, visual impairment, and hearing impairment. Today we have great pleasure to have the representative from Hong Kong Association of Banks, Robert Xu, who is also the Senior Manager of Digital Design, Wealth, and Personal Banking of HSBC, to give us a speech on the best practice sharing on web accessibility. May I pass the time to Robert, please?
Thank you, Jason, and thank you, everyone. This is a great pleasure for me to speak on this topic, my favorite topic. All along, I've been advocating accessibility with my global team within HSBC. This is the first time I'm sharing this outside, so I feel very honored and excited. So as a beginning, I just want to share with you all why and how we make HSBC accessible and our journey through the last couple of years. So let me start with just an introduction of HSBC. We are one of the largest banking and financial service organizations in the world. We operate in 64 countries and territories all over the world. We have over 40 million customers, and we have over 200,000 staff. As you can see, we're interacting with so many external and internal people. That's why digital accessibility is such something that's very important to us. And I work in a team that actually established design standard and also accessibility standard for the bank globally. So I'm part of a global team that most of my colleagues sits in London. We have a small team in Asia, but we have this privilege to share all the knowledge globally. That's why we are very keen and want to push accessibility to more people so that people know that why HSBC are doing it. So why we're doing it? I think first and foremost, it's just the right thing to do, right? The ethics of accessibility are just incredibly important. Just a number, 1 in 6 people in Asia Pacific region. And if I remember correctly, the number is actually around like 690 million in total. In Asia Pacific are people live with disability. And this is likely to increase due to longer life expectancy. You probably already noticed that people around you, or even myself, sometimes I have to enlarge the font on my mobile phone in order to read the message. Sometimes I need to contrast, make the phone higher contrast so that I can more focus. So we are all being impacted and will be benefit from a good use of digital accessibility. And for a bank, making sure everyone can access our service regardless of ability or age is one of the clearest way we can bring HSBC value to life. But then again, from a pragmatic angle, as the earlier speaker and Chanya already shared, there are national laws and regulations that we need to comply. Especially in HSBC, we operate in many countries, and in a couple of our key markets like UK, US, Canada, and Australia, they do have pretty strict digital accessibility law. And the trend is just going to be more robust and wider ranging. And the penalty of breaking these laws are being more and substantial, and it's getting bigger every year. And like Chanya shared earlier, Hong Kong Association of Banks published a guideline on barrier-free banking service in March 2018. It covers both physical and digital accessibility, but the message goes out to the industry as the expectation is all the bank members will conform to the guideline within 3 years, which is sometime in 2021. So How did we do that in HSBC? We actually did it way before the publication of the guideline, because so let me bring you back in down the memory lane and see how we did things in the past. So before 2014, we have nothing, and we actually hit with a couple of litigation in US. So that's why in 2014 we established our first accessibility policy and standard for the bank, which I will go through a little bit detail later on. And starting 2014, we try to spread the awareness across HSBC, not only in London, UK, but also globally. We also form an internal accessibility forum so that all the passionate experts can actually share their thoughts and their tips on how to improve things. In 2016, we actually hit another milestone because we managed to get into the bank policy and a governance process that all digital project needs to conform to our digital accessibility framework and with a process to validate it, which I will go into further detail later. We also started rather comprehensive training globally. We actually trained over 1,000 staff in UK, Hong Kong, China, and through face-to-face and online training. We also understand that creating awareness is very important. So in 2016, we organized the first Digital Accessibility Awareness Day in London main office. And on the same year, because we are operating on a global basis, that's why a lot of the team shared information and knowledge globally. With the help of our global team, we collectively work together. We actually got recognition on our banking app back in 2016, and we won a gold award in the Web Accessibility Recognition Scheme in Hong Kong. Flash forward to 2019. In our annual report, we actually stated that we are going to implement a 2-year global diversity and inclusive strategy. That covers everything, and of course, digital accessibility is a core part of it. We also won a triple gold award. This means that our mobile app is have won 3 years consecutively through the recognition program. Last year, happily we partnered with Hong Kong Blind Union and OGO and Hong Kong Monetary Association. We organized our first Digital Accessibility Awareness Day in Hong Kong in HSBC. We managed to reach out to over 300 colleagues, and through panels and demos, we make a lot more colleagues aware of what digital accessibility is. And Chan Yao actually demoed how he actually make a payment through our payment app, which to our colleagues is an eye-opener because they work so hard on doing the app, but this is the first time they see a blind person actually using it in front of them. Some of them even very emotional and write back very positive feedback on the whole awareness day, which is very good. And we also publish our accessibility reference on our create.hsbc, which is a public-facing website. If you're working for HSBC, you can gain access and you can actually go in and see our framework and our standards. But why are we doing all this, right? It's because we always ask ourselves, does it make it better for our customer? Because everyone should be able to access financial product and service in a way that suits their need. And that's something that we are committed to do. And one of the ways that we try to improve our product, we started last year in London, is we organized customer testing on our website and mobile app with people in the disabled community. We test with people that use a screen reader, a screen magnifier, people with dyslexic, with learning difficulty, and also motor impairment. Some of the video that I saw are so insightful that many business, when they saw it, they really can see why we need to do more for all people to access our service. We are planning to do the same program in Hong Kong, but due to COVID, and it's actually a bit more challenging to recruit all the various disabled participants to help us to do the test. So this is an open call to everyone in this webinar. If you are, in Hong Kong and want to participate in this program, reach out to me. I'll leave my email in the chat box later, and we're happy to work with the community and everyone to try to improve. In some area, we actually believe that accessibility actually drives innovation, whereas a lot of people still think that accessibility actually make them boxed in and they can't be creative and only can deliver boring design. But we are not a firm believer of that. We actually believe in accessibility can drive innovation, because a lot of time when design and technology team wrestling an accessible solution, it will come up with something, a concept that is brand new. As you can see on screen, this is one of the things that we tried out when we're designing our mobile trading app. We're thinking like, okay, for a graph, we would turn the voiceover on. Like naturally, when you swipe through the screen, it would just voice out the numeric value and the number on the graph. But it didn't give you the sense of whether where's the hill and valley of the graph, like the trend. So we actually put together some effort and had this try out to see what if you swipe through across the graph. It actually use sonic with a high and low pitch to give you a sense that you are going high and low. At the same time, when you stop on the graph, it actually voice out the number. So it gives you another kind of a level of kind of getting more information through sonic. So these are all the things that we think that we can actually do innovation through accessibility. So this is the kind of the test that we've done, and we actually implemented in the first release, but for some reason, it seems that the feature is no longer available, but we'll definitely try to go for these kind of innovation in the future. And just like Chanya and Judy mentioned, training and awareness are so important to spread to actually get the knowledge and training across. In HSBC, we actually have a very comprehensive role-based accessibility training program for designers, developer, and QA tester, product manager, business analyst, and content author, with different emphasis. For example, for designer, we're basically going to tell them how to, when you design, you have to consider the layout won't break if the text is enlarged 200%. The color contrast. For developer, we teach them area tag and how to structure the hierarchy. For project manager and business analysis, we're going to basically brief them how to actually, and what point in time in a project should engage accessibility review and audit. So all these, we try our best to train our own staff so that they can actually support us to deliver an accessible product and also go for some innovation. For non-project based colleagues, we also have these awareness day. We celebrate GAD. We also celebrate International Day of People with Disability. We have our own digital accessibility framework, but pretty much it's like what Judy shared is WCAG 2.0. But we also revise it regularly. So latest, we actually include some of the WCAG 2.1 recommendation, and we took some best practice guideline from other companies like BBC. So we try to create our own framework for our own staff so that they can be more comprehensive when they approach accessibility. like I said earlier, we also have a principle and policy in place. So all product that goes out, we need them to actually go out and have a third-party certification to certify that it is a WCAT 2.0 AA standard compliant product. But a lot of the challenge is actually a product team will just see this as a validation gate. But this should not be the case, because we firmly believe that accessibility should be considered from the outset and throughout the delivery of project, not just a validation gate before launch. Looking ahead, there are a couple of things that we really want to get beyond 2021. First is all our accessibility framework and our governance process are primarily focused for customer-facing product. But what about our staff-facing? In the past, it's mostly like we share, we highly recommend they follow it, but we don't have the same governance process. But we plan to implement the same governance process and check and audit for all our staff-facing system, starting with some internal audit to ensure that online training and HR system, which are essential to all staff, they are all digitally accessible. Another thing that we're trying to do is to work with procurement to ensure anybody that wants to work with HSBC on digital space, they also need to conform our digital accessibility framework. So our agency partner, fintech partner, they all need to deliver product that meets our standard. And there are also a lot of areas that we need to improve, like how to make accessibility training more accessible. Actually, Judy mentioned it. We're also looking to how to translate our reference material into different language, and try to improve our post-launch operation. How to make sure all the teams that collaboratively are working on the same project, that post-launch, all the enhancement actually won't break the accessibility when we first go out. So all these, we just started on this journey, and we really need, we're humbled to get it better, by working with people internally and externally. And one of the example is our colleagues in London actually are quite involved in Silver Project, WCAT 3.0. And we're actually getting ready to actually plan out what if, when it comes, how do we change our internal process? How do we train up our staff? And how do we actually make our internal testing and review process more effective? So with that, in a nutshell, I just want to share what we have done in HSBC, and this is not a closed door exercise. We're happy to share more with the industry. We're happy to share more with whoever want to know more about this. So with that, I hand the time back to Jason and Blind Union.